what happens. What's up, people? Alright. So we're talking about some stuff you might not want. I don't know if you want. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, alright, so here we are, people. So I'll wait till people come in. So we've been talking about probably a couple things. I should write them down. Sit down real quick. Oh. All right, y'all. So, the stream. I guess. What's the warning? I guess, or caution. This is going to be very, very controversial. The topics here is not for everybody. So if you are a very sensitive person, trigger warning. Trigger warning. Thank you, Tyrone. Huge trigger warning. Just know that before I get into this, my opinion on this does not matter. Okay? My opinion on this does not matter. I am only simply questioning. I'm asking questions, okay? This is me asking a question. I am not trying to put my opinion on somebody. I am not trying to say that whatever is right. I'm not saying what I'm talking about is right. I'm not saying that you should do it. I'm not saying that anybody should do it. I'm not saying that this should have happened. Okay? I feel bad that I have to say that, but that is the truth. Okay? So, just warning. Okay? Just big warning. If you are sensitive to stuff like this, if you are sensitive to controversial stuff like, I don't know, rape, killing, I don't know, stuff like that, shit like that. Okay? If you're sensitive, put your, I don't know, put your trigger warning caps on. How's that? Okay, I wanna wait till other people get in here. Some more people. So I'm not online. Obviously, I turned my phone off so I can think better. And if you guys will, please tell your friends and stuff that I'm live and come talk to me, because this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be a doozy. All right. Yeah. It's gonna be a controversial one. Oh yeah, let me wait until people come in. If they come in, we'll see. I'll wait till like 10 minutes. So at the 10-minute mark, I'll start talking. Until then, we're gonna wait till people get in here. Hey Tanya. Hey Tanya. So yeah, 10-minute mark. I'm just gonna start talking, and I just want to get this off my chest. I wrote it down so I won't forget. And yeah, I can already feel it. It's gonna be crazy. Okay, it's gonna be. Let's go back to OG Daily Wise, huh? Gripping and fork, gripping and fork, gripping fork, gripping and fork. That's so dumb, bro. That dude needs some help. Oh shit. Why? What is it? What is this? Why? What the hell? Look that baby. What the fuck? Damn it. Fucking broke my pen. Apparently. What happened to that other pen I had? Give me a second. Okay. I can't find my pen, but I got a pencil right here. So yeah, okay. Should be good. Okay, well we had 4 people in here, but they got bored and left, so that sucks. Oh well. That's their fault. Well, it's my fault too, but I mean, it's both parties' fault. All right, 10 minutes coming up. I'm starting. All right. Look, guys, like I said before, this is going to be pretty controversial. If you are sensitive, please, please, please have an open mind. All right. That's what we do here in a Wyse fam. Have an open mind and do not, I repeat, do not get offended without knowing the whole context. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. So, Ted Bundy. Uh, so yeah, Ted Bundy. So I'm watching the new Netflix movie. I haven't finished it yet because I, I guess I'm way too late to watch it, and then now it's like, oh shit, I got a live stream, so I couldn't finish it yet. But I'm at the part where where he's doing the trials and stuff, and apparently this whole thing is based off a true story. So um, Liz, and Miss Boone, and all that stuff. That's actually those are actual people. So um what is interesting to me is that first things first is that apparently Ted Bundy has a kid. I don't know um, if that's true or not. Let me see. Rose Bundy. Yeah, so apparently his kid is Rose Bundy. Interesting. So that was his. Gosh, she looked just. Oh, she already had a kid. So Rose Bundy. God, my thing is, God, like how she's 37 now. That's crazy. So that's crazy to me. Like, what did? How did she feel about the whole thing? That's my question. Is like, how did she feel about that? Her dad was this type of person. You know, like, God, that's crazy. That's okay. I don't know which one to do. Let's just start reading, shall we? So, Miss Rose Bundy, Ted Bundy's um, daughter. Okay, so let's just start reading, and this is by Cosmopolitan. I don't know if I trust him, but yeah. You think about Ted Bundy often because, yeah, you probably don't know about his family life or parenting skills. In addition to being a father figure to his longtime girlfriend, Elizabeth, daughter, Liz, to also father a child while he was on death row. His daughter Rose was born in 1981. Her life was basically one giant mystery. But in the interest of curiosity and our mystery that we know, just what we do know. So, about Rose's mom, Ted met Carol Ann Boone during the height of his murder career in 1974 when they both were working at the State Department of Emergency Services. He was actually helping to search for several missing women whom he killed. That's crazy. That's crazy. I like Ted. We hit it off well. Um, he struck me as being a rather shy person with a lot more going on under the surface than what was on the surface. He suddenly was more dignified and restrained than the more circle types around the office. They started dating, but technically he was still in a relationship with Elizabeth, and Carol seemed relatively unbothered when he was, arrested for potential murder. In fact, she was regularly visiting him in jail and gave him cash to help him plan one of his escapes. Wild. So then he proposed to her right there in the courtroom, and they got married. That's wild, man. So he moved to Florida to be closer to Ted during his trial in 1979, tested on his behalf as a character witness, which at which point, like literally at the very moment he asked her to marry him, they were legally wed, thanks to Florida's weird law. Of course, it works. Anyway, Carol gave birth to a daughter, Rose, in 1981, despite the fact that the Vidgets were not allowed in Ted's prison. Guess everyone wasn't anything some casual sneaking around couldn't fix. After the first day, they just they didn't care. Carol said of Ted's prison guards on the tape recording used in docuseries. Yeah, they walked in on us a couple times. Interesting. We're over here being serious and Tyrone doing some dumb shit right here. Right now, you're probably wondering what the fuck Carol was thinking. Well, all I can say is that it seems like she genuinely believed in Ted's innocence. When he finally confessed before he was executed, she felt deeply betrayed, refused to take his call on the day of his capital punishment, moved back to Washington State with her daughter. She was hurt by his relationship with Diana. Ted's lawyer wrote, and devastated by his sudden wholesale confessions in his last days. Who I just mentioned seconds ago was another one of Ted's lawyers. Where's Rose today? Where's Rose? Public eye. Yeah, she's not. I doubt she will be in public eye. Like, come on. At the age of 37, allegedly using a pseudonym, Rose. So she's not even like, she's keeping like a low profile, which is good because come on, your dad is literally a serial killer, allegedly. So it's like, fuck, doesn't want her serial killer father shadow hunter forever. According to the author and Rule, who volunteered with Ted at a suicide crisis hotline center, Rose is living away from the spotlight but doing well. I've heard that Ted's daughter is a kind, intelligent young woman, but I have no idea where she and her mother may live. They've been through enough. They need to just chill, go off grid, and they'll be fine. Jed's writing, I deliberately avoided knowing anything about Ted's ex-wife and daughter's whereabouts because they deserve privacy. I don't want to know where they are. I never want to be caught off guard by some reported question about them. All I know is that Ted's daughter has grown to be a fine young woman. That's nice. If I hear speculation about who Rose is and where she's living float around some truly sketchy message boards, but since she's clearly trying very hard to stay private, we won't be linking them here, as you were. Interesting. Interesting. That is working. Topic. Yeah, this is a big topic that I really want to talk about. She was brainwashed by him. Now, here's my thing. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm a weird guy, right? I have a weird way of thinking. Personally, okay, so legally and publicly, right? Ted Bundy was obviously the one that did it, right? It's obviously for a lot of people, 99.9% of people, it's obvious he's the one that did it, right? But honestly, I feel like if you weren't there at the time that he did it, right, you can't say for sure, right? It's all speculation, really. But I get it. This is sensitive for a lot of people, but I'm gonna be honest here. Like, it's like, oh yeah, of course he did it. He obviously did it. Like, what the fuck? Why are you going on? Why are you saying he didn't do it? He obviously did. Okay, were you there that night when he did it those time? Were you there during the broad daylight when he? Were you there? Were you even born at that time? I mean, I'm pretty sure Tanya was, but like, were you there? You know what I mean? Like, were you? Did you see him do it? The action, right? Because if you saw him do it, you would be a witness in the case, but you're not. So you don't know, right? You're just taking the government's, you know, you're taking the government's word for it, or the judicial word for it, right? You're not thinking like, okay, well, it's not like I was there to know that he actually did it. You know, like, where's the eyewitnesses that said anything? There was a couple, right? I saw the movie. I was reading through some stuff that there was a couple people there, right? But they didn't say specifically that it was specifically him, right? They was alluding to it because they didn't fully see him. You know, that's what's really gets me. It's like, okay, at this point, when stuff like this, like, what do we know is actual truth? You know what I mean? Like, what is um it's interesting. It's crazy. So Rose Bundy, apparently she's doing fine. She's 37. She's fine. You know, it's crazy. And yeah, here is room for reasonable doubt if there's no eyewitnesses. Right. It is still reasonable doubt. Right. It is reasonable. Like, we can't say that. Oh, you if you know what happened, right? If you're like, of course he did it. You know, like I said, you can't for real say that he did it, because if you know that he did it, you will be an eyewitness and you will be there. You will be there during the case, right? And you probably wouldn't even be watching this. You know, and so I think it's a lot of stuff like this. If you're like, it's up in the air, right? You know, and for me personally, I get it. If some people have what do you call it? It's easy to point the finger, right? I'm looking at what he said was Zac Efron in the movie, the movie, the Ted Bundy movie, from Zac Efron, like that. Um, the stuff he was saying is like the way he was saying it, right? He was saying it as if he knows for sure that he didn't do it, right? And the the police force and the official people are just using him as just a way to get, more publicity or whatever, right? It's just an easy fish to fry. You know what I mean? And it really stuck out to me, because it's like, if Ted actually said that stuff, right? I feel like nobody says anything that doesn't have some type of truth in it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how small the truth is, it might be some type of truth, right? But God, people like Ted Bundy, if he did do it, it's hard to tell, because he's a sociopath in the most basic sense, you know? And God, it's like, I wonder how does Rose feel? I mean, Rose isn't her actual name, but it's a pseudonym that people use, apparently, because they don't know her actual name. So, which is good, because you don't want people trying to find you and stuff. So I think it's interesting is like, okay, so a lot of things that, like, genes get passed down. Simple as that, right? Genes get passed down. I wonder, how does Rose think? Like, what is her mental state like? You know, I mean, I know it's because of how she was raised. She wasn't raised in an environment like that. But was Ted raised in an environment like that? I doubt it. Like he just was like that, right? He just right. I'm going off the thought that he did it, right? This is side. This is the lens that he actually did it, right? If Ted, how did Ted grow up? You know, let's ask that question. Hold on. Apple punching. That's obvious. Grow up. I doubt there's gonna be. This is how I didn't say how he got caught. What the fuck? So it's childhood. Let's go to the childhood. Something may have happened to him. We don't know. You know. We don't know what happened. Okay, so Ted Bundy's childhood. A&E. Lonely boy to window peeper to serial killer. Okay. So. Okay, there are several theories about why Bundy became a psychopath. From his suffering, I can't talk, from attachment disorder due to his mother passing herself off as his sister during his childhood, to his pornography addiction and what? Oh, what the what? Okay, what? Okay, what the fuck? Good night, Jackie. Okay, please tell me I read this right. Okay, so from his possibly suffering from attachment disorder due to his mother passing herself off as his sister during his childhood, to his pornography addiction and more. What? Oh my god. What the fuck? That's some serious mommy issues. That's some serious mommy. What the? What? Okay. Let's finish. Okay, so I don't believe a person is born a psychopath. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Stav Dimitropoulos. Fuck. That has to be like Russian or German or some shit. Sound like I would just call him Dimitri at that point. I don't believe a person is born a psychopath. I don't believe Bundy was a psychopath when he was a child or during his high school years. In my career in state prison, I interviewed multiple rapists and killers. I wanted to know how they became violent. This is what I found. If early in life a person is lonely and doesn't fit in and is empty, they begin to look for some ways to undo that, to satisfy their loneliness. And they turn to fantasy to comfort themselves. This is what happened with Bundy. He started out lonely and shy as a child. He believed all the attention was paid to the younger kids, who were really his stepfather Johnny Bundy's children from a previous marriage. Also, he has step brothers and sisters. Okay. He started fantasizing about women he saw while window peeping or elsewhere, and mimicking the accents of some politicians he listened to on the radio. Not a good idea. In essence, he was fantasizing about being someone else, someone important. Wow, fascinating. Many people are lonely. Come from emotionally dysfunctional families. Wait, many people are lonely. Come from emotionally dysfunctional families, watch porn, all these together, and don't become serial killers. True. Oh, okay. So this is somebody else saying it. Okay, this is a question. Okay, that's true. These things did not cause him to kill. They built up in a desire within him to experience a more real sexual activity with the girl. He was not interested in killing. The real thing was to get as close to controlling a woman as possible, and perhaps rape her, because it was a next step in what was getting to be exciting for him. But that doesn't explain why he thought that way. But I guess the desire just builds up to a point because he didn't. It's still a little confusing, honestly. Okay, let's continue. At what age did he first show signs of dangerous psychopathic behavior? Bundy started with peeping in windows in his early teens. Then he got into shoplifting. Coming from an overly religious family, he began to shut down feelings of guilt. Ah, see, it's always them religious families that ruin kids, bro. I'm not saying it's the religion. I'm just saying it's the religion. I don't know how else to say it. I'm sorry. God, that's crazy. He began to shut down feelings of guilt. Then he got away with these things and started doing more. At 18, he fell hell over. Okay, at 18, he fell head over heels in love with the girl, but she ended it. She said he just won't stand up for himself. He's lying about a lot of the little things. I got this directly from her. Okay. Bundy completely fell apart. Bitterness started to develop and lots of increased loneliness. At this point, we see him getting into a lot of illegal stuff. He was stealing food and uniforms from work. You can see the whole psychopathic personality being grown at this point. Okay, interesting. So, up to this point, he hasn't been in a relationship, or he hasn't really felt in love until he was with this girl. And then she ended it because he didn't stand up for himself and he's lying about a lot of little things. Hmm, that's crazy. So I think apparently it just all started because he didn't get the pussy. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, that's literally what happened. Um, apparently so far. I don't agree fully, Tanya, that serial killing will bring you to fame, but I think, well, it depends on how you do it, because I think it may have been different for him, like, because I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of things that happen to you as a child, um, that will never get out in the open because you can't. There's nothing public about it, right? It all happens in private. Like, there's a lot of stuff that happened to me that's not going to be private because it happened in the comfort of your home when your home's supposed to be comfortable, but it's not when your life is on the line, or when something is going wrong, and that's crazy. Okay, so in 1968, when he was 20, um, Bundy got involved with Arthur Fletcher's campaign. Fletcher was running to become lieutenant governor of Washington State, lost the election, and Bundy went to Philadelphia to get a law degree at Temple. And then he dropped out. All these failures left him very upset, lonely, again, looking for an identity. when he saw his first 2 victims, Susan Davis and Elizabeth Perry, on the beach Memorial Day weekend, 1969, he had an overwhelming urge to rape them. Once he did, he felt he had no choice but to silence them. That's I feel like something is left out or something is missing here. Maybe I'm just looking at it differently, but from everything I've reading, it makes sense, but it still feels something feels off. What? Why did she? Where's the dad, Merce? Why did she ask you? The fuck? Like, you're not the dad. Why are you making the name? Why can't you just let her do it? Just let the girl name however she wants to name it. If the guy isn't there, just let it happen. Okay, so like I said before, this is like I'm reading this and maybe I need to find other articles where they talk about the same thing because it just feels like it feels jaded. It feels jaded and cloudy. I don't know if those are the right words, but it feels like okay, like I said before, like a lot of the fact that people have just accepted the fact that he's the one that did it, right? So everything seems like I don't know. Maybe I'm just playing a devil's advocate, which I am playing devil's advocate here. But it feels like nobody's actually trying to truly understand. So they're like, oh yeah, he did it. Let's understand why he wanted to do it, or it's something like that. There's more to this. I'm like you know, I can't get into it because I'm not like a law person or whatever. The dad is white. Why you have to bring in that the dad was white, Nurse? The fact that he's the dad, he should be there, and they should come up with the name themselves. I don't know. He has that right. Personally, I feel like he has that right. It's his kid. It's their kid. Let them come up with the name, not you, Merce. Okay. Just saying. I'm confused. There has to be more information, right? There has to be something. Like something's missing here. I don't know what it is, but something is missing. Something is also kind of off here. Like, so once Bundy killed them, there was no way of going back to the person he was before. By 1973, Christmas 1973, Bundy was a pretty strong psychopath. Is that a psychopath or a sociopath? Because a sociopath can deal. Hold on. Google's gonna be real confused. Like, why the fuck is this guy looking into Ted Bundy all of a sudden? um, okay, here's another one. Was Ted Bundy? What was his mental state? That's one. Okay, let's continue. Within a few days in 1974. Oh, okay. He had a pretty strong. He was a pretty strong psychopath. He had the habit of pornography. He had the habit of window peeping. He was into a lot of sexual fantasy. And now he has a homicide fantasy too. That's the assumption, obviously. Within a few days in 1974, he attempted to kill a woman in her apartment, but she lived. Her name has been kept from the public. He soon began killing other women. At that point, he was a complete psychopath. Why did he engage in necrophilia with some of his victims? Oh, yeah, that's right. He did. Okay. In the psychological assessment in Florida prison, he was asked, "What is it about the victims? Is it excitement?" He said, "No. It is the possession of the person." Possession of the person. So it's like, okay, so it's just the fact that he got them is like, interesting. Killing changes your thought process when you crave the high from those kills, I think. Uh, well, I'll say that killing probably would change it would change how you think about yourself, first of all, and change how you think about, like, what you just did. But it depends on, honestly, I think it just depends on the person, because I don't think you can, um, I don't think you're craving the high. It depends. It depends. It depends on the person. Okay, obviously, some people are just crazy enough to where they just want to kill people, but I feel like Ted Bundy was different. I recommend y'all watch it because Zac Efron is amazing. Okay, what's up, Marlon? So he sex with dead women. I don't know if that was what it's saying. I think it was though. Yes, yeah. No, he's dead. He had the electric chair in 1989. I know that by heart now. That's messed up. What's up, Marlon? Um, you said Ted Bundy was the author of his own creation. Does this suggest somehow chose to become a serial killer? I don't think Bundy chose to become. Okay, this is him saying this, not me. I don't think Bundy chose to become a serial killer. Bundy started out as a normal child, a lonely child whose fantasy, who found fantasy very enjoyable. He was like Wesley Dodd or Anthony Arthur Gary Bishop, child killers who were not born killers but chose to hide their pathology, showing everyone else they were normal people. But the sexual pathology just kept getting worse, finally controlling them. I feel like that makes sense. That part right there makes sense because it's more like a, because you don't see like female serial killers, at least not that I've heard of anyway. It's mainly men that has a problem with sexual stuff. Like all starts out most, I think, sexually. His nephew was one of my peace camp leaders, ironically. Whose nephew? Ted's? Peace camp leaders. What's a peace camp? What's funny? I don't know what peace camp is either. I don't know what a peace camp is. What's a peace camp, Marlon? Let us know. Is that like weird flex, but okay. Okay, so here we are. If you look at if you look at it at that point, wow, this guy was born a psychopath, but none of them were psychopaths. Like it become it's like a I mean, it's kind of like a soda can, right, or soda bottle, right? You shake it up to the point where it's just it if you open it, it's gonna right, or like the straw that broke the camel's back, stuff like that. Like it got built up over time because of shit that happened to him that was probably out of his like well from what they're saying, they just said that a lot of the stuff was because he did it, which at least well when it comes to the pornography stuff and stuff, that's obviously his choice. But I think him being a natural shy and lonely person, that's just genetics at that point. Too funny. Kill him afterwards. It's like learning about different backgrounds and building relationships to extra credit thing. I needed it to graduate. Damn, that's crazy. So that's what a peace camp is? You didn't explain what a peace camp is. Yeah, you don't like. I think the reason why you don't hear a lot of women raping men because the thing about rape is that it for the guys that do it, it is they mentally, right? They didn't men do get raped. Don't get me wrong. Men do get raped by other women. It happens, all right? Just not as much as men doing it to females. I think it's because it's mainly a male thing, like biologically, it is mainly a male thing, right? Because it's like for a guy, your your sexual drive, right? Um, is for a man, sexual drive is right. If you don't get control, it's like a beast. It's like basically like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like Joe Rogan explained it perfectly. It is like you it's like when you're in the feeling, right? It's like you're not even driving anymore, right? It's like the rational side of you isn't even driving. It's your dick that's driving, right? It is the sexual tension and the the feeling that's driving you, right? They're in the driver's seat said, "What? Okay, I got this. Don't worry." It's like, "What are you doing? I got this. Don't worry. I'll take care of it. Don't worry." And they're just driving crazy, driving over the road, going everywhere, fucking flying and shit. Like that's the sexual drive, right? And then after it happens, right? That's for a lot of guys that don't have their self control built up, right? If they don't have if they didn't grow up with self control, if they didn't grow up with that, then they're gonna have a tough time, we call it. They're gonna have a tough time controlling it later on. You know what I mean? It is depending on the guy. It depends on how you grow up. For a lot of guys, or for every guy, it is how you grow up. If you grow up in a situation that allows you to be able to build that self-control sexually, then you're not gonna have a problem. But for guys that grow up in a very fucked up serious situation, right? Or a very messed up situation where they didn't have the time to grow that self-control, You know what I mean? And nobody told them that having self-control was what they needed for their sexual drive, right? They didn't have that talk, right? The sexual drive is going to be the driver for a lot of shit, especially when it comes to the opposite sex. And that I feel like is the problem, you know? Um It's what it's called, CCEJ. What the heck is CCEJ? What's that? You gotta explain to me, bro. I don't understand. Okay, let's go back to this. You believe all attention was paid to the younger kids who were really yeah, it's from really his stepfather's kids. He started fantasizing about women while he saw a window peeping around, mimicking. Yeah, we saw that already. Oh wait, okay. I already read all this. Okay, so that's that. Doesn't seem like there's much information there. Um, Men do get raped. Yes, they do get raped. Um, just not as much as females do. But it's just as bad. I'm not saying it's not just as bad. It is just as bad. Very bad. Okay, rape in general is just no. Okay, it's just not a good thing. Control, self control. I just talked about that. It just depends on the guy. Just depends on how you are raised, knowing between right. It depends on how you're raised and what happened in the home while you were growing up. You know what I mean? If you were raised to know that certain things were wrong and certain things were okay, then you're gonna be fine. You're gonna have self control because you're gonna realize that this is bad, right? And you're gonna know the consequences of doing something that's bad, right? And you're gonna be like, okay, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. So you push it down, or you just throw it off like, okay, well, I'm never gonna think that about that again. So yeah, it's just depending on how you grow up. Depends on how you are. So she's always have a good friend. Wait, what? She said she always have a good friend at his side. Oh, he always have a good. Is right. Yes. Yeah, that's. I mean, pornography isn't wrong. It's just you know, like I feel like the porn thing was kind of irrelevant in this article because, like, okay, most guys deal with porn at least one time, at least a good 5 times in their life. Like, don't sit here and tell me you've never ever looked at porn because you're just a fucking idiot if you haven't, or obviously you're living under a rock. you know, and sometimes some things are genetic when it comes to like, having a problem mentally or being crazy or whatever. That's just sometimes it's just genetic. Uh huh. Something may, yeah. We don't know what happened, as a young age, for a young age. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay. So Simon called into question when Bundy was on death watch in 1986 for 3 murders in Florida. His attorney attempted to delay death penalty by proving it was not mentally competent to stand trial. We were hoping to find some clear mental illness that we could use as an issue in the case. She said on episode 4, they listed Dorothy Lewis, psychiatrist, in understanding the brain chemistry of violent men. Examination, Bundy insisted that he was competent. I knew it wasn't crazy, insane, or incompetent or anything else. Bundy said in an interview featured in conversation. I mean, that's what crazy people say anyway. They're like, "Oh, I'm not crazy," and then they're the ones that doing the most craziest shit, right? So it shouldn't even be listening to him. And like, if they listed, like, I was insulted by even the suggestion by my attorney, so we should consider the defense. They knew damn well I wasn't crazy. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Bundy. Like, if I don't know, like if there was a chance Like, it would have helped you if you wanted to really be innocent. I don't know, just saying. But some have argued that connecting his crimes to his mental illness creates harmful degeneralization about people with mental illnesses. I mean, I guess, but I mean, come on, some mental illnesses are worse than others. I don't know. There are 43.8 million adults in the United States who experience mental illness. That's crazy. 43.8 million adults experience mental illness. When was this made? It's made. Oh, that's crazy. Wow, that's a lot of people. 43.8 million. Wow. Might as well call America the crazy country, because we are. That's true. That's true. That's true, Merce. But you still gotta ask a question. What happened when they were younger? You know what I mean? What happened to them when they were younger, like before the porn? Like, it had to be something. You know what I mean? They can't just be like, oh, you know. Whoa, okay. That's a nice website. But the vast majority of people with mental illness do not engage in violent behavior. But given the internet's endless fascination with Bundy, here's what we know about his mental health. Y'all didn't give me anything at all. You didn't even tell me anything. That is some bullshit. That doesn't help at all. You just told me nothing. What the? Oh my god. Wow, y'all suck. That really upset me. I'm like, what the fuck? I really wanted to like see what the. Oh wait, there's some more. Oh, there's more. Oh, okay, my bad. There's more. There's more. Okay. People are quick to label Bundy as psychopath, someone who is emotionally blank, acts recklessly, never takes responsibility for their actions, and tends to be charming, at least superficially. That's what I was saying. Like, a psychopath, Bundy didn't seem like a psychopath. Like, a psychopath, they act recklessly and they don't care what happens, right? So, like, Bundy didn't do that, like, at all. At least superficially, although psychopath isn't listed in the DSM used to diagnose mental health disorders, is a personality trait that falls under antisocial personality disorder. People with antisocial personality disorder have a long-term pattern of manipulating, exploiting, or violating the rights of others without any remorse. Rights. That is literally a psychopath, yeah. After the examination, Dr. Lewis called Nelson to tell her that Bundy met the criteria for bipolar disorder, a mental disorder formerly known as the manic depressive order. Okay. People with bipolar disorder have dramatic shifts in their mood and will swing between intense episodes of mania and depression. According to the American Psychological Association, during manic state, a person with bipolar disorder might feel extremely happy, start talking quickly, get agitated, and act overconfident. A depressive episode, on the other hand, is marked by sadness, low self-esteem, irritability, and difficulty concentrating. Interesting. Both episodes can include psychotic symptoms like hallucinations, according to the National Alliance on Mental Illness. In the Netflix documentary, Nelson said Bundy notoriously heard voices that told him to kill women. Interesting. Okay. So he heard voices apparently. So of course he's legit. He's gotta be legit crazy, right? Well, not legit crazy, but like they have two faces. Thanks for watching. I watch. Is it Jake Paul? Psychopath to some extent. Yeah, I'm an expert now. Shout out to Shane Dawson. Yeah, totally. Okay, so Doug Lewis realized that this was during the down phase of his manic depression. She also cited Bundy defending himself at his own murder trial, which is a common behavior for killers, as an example of his manic episodes. But people with bipolar disorder are not inherently violent. Studies suggest that people with bipolar disorder are only at an increased risk of violence if they also are abusing substances. Okay. Dr. Lewis told Nelson that she was extremely confident that there was something unique about Ted's brain that had led his crimes. She said his unique brain chemistry, or even a tumor in critical location, or even a tumor in a critical location that blocks his empathy. While we don't know what his brain looks like, there are a few theories about how the brain of serial killers differs from others. One common one from Jim Fallon, a neuroscientist, who studied the brains of serial killers, suggests that they tend to have less active orbital frontal cortexes, the area of the brain involved with moral decision making and ethical behavior. And some believe that this essentially blocks the uh, amygdala, the part of the brain that processes emotions, fear, and aggression. Amygdala, whatever the fuck that name is. That's wild. That's crazy. That's interesting. That's that. Somebody was like, Bundy is mentally ill. Okay, he may on one hand knew, but the other side of him, which was the most prevalent after his urges built up, was uncontrollable. It is that issue he had that was never resolved, and why his more normal side, precisely why he should have been spared from execution. He needed constant surveillance and probably institutional control, however, to ensure these things never happened again. He could have been an invaluable resource to detect other future or current offenders of this type. Things he had already done could not be undone, but perhaps we could have been a tool used to fight against more atrocities. Wow, that's an interesting take. I like that take. Oh my god. Hot sneaker. It was a comment on the website apparently. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Right? That would be the best idea, right? Why don't we use him for future things? Why did they think just to kill him off right away? We could have used his brain, bro. Like fuck, man. Then it's just a lost opportunity. That's why there shouldn't be a fucking death penalty, in my opinion. Not anymore. I don't think there should be. The mad or bad question has plagued scientists for almost 300 years. That's why Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde became so popular in Victorian times, as it delved into the societal views at the time around madness versus plain old evil badness. Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like if you're crazy, you're not I wouldn't call you legitimately evil. Like you can't help that you're crazy. That's just a genetic thing that you just got from your family. It's not your fault. So, man, because if that's the case, then it was completely out of his control. What I mean, unless they were to help, they would try to help him. What I mean, most people don't talk so deep. You still evil? I wouldn't call it evil, Merce. I don't think it's evil. I think it's just a. I don't know. I don't know. That's what the question. That's why it questions a lot of scientists, because why how would that make you evil if you were just crazy and you can't help the fact of that? Like, I don't think that if you're legitimately considered crazy or considered to have mental issues, if you have mental issues, you can't help the fact that you have mental issues. So that means you can't help, like, some things you can't help the things that you do, right? That means that it is the job of other people to make sure that they help you or help this person out first, right? Or help him out. Like, maybe if you even want to help the person out because they killed somebody, maybe you just how about you use this as a chance to stop other people in the future before it happens? You know what I mean? Like this Ted Bundy situation should be used to see the problem beforehand and try to fix it in a good way and make sure that the kid grows up good. You know, and kids grows up in a more better, you know, situation. You know, I will say it's sickness. Oh wait, what'd y'all say? It's a sickness, pure sickness. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a mental illness. I mean, that's really what it is. So excuse for murder. I mean, no comment. I would say it's a sickness for taking life is evil. Okay. No comment on that one. But bad. What was I at? Oh yeah. So how one's class could influence a doctor's decision or public perception of your crimes. How lower class killers tend to be viewed as evil. Um, Dr. Mr. Hyde, but upper class will often be certified as mad and so escape prison or the hangman's noose. Dr. Jekyll. Interesting. Alienist, a great TV series set in Victorian New York City with Dakota Fanning, shows this mad versus bad tension between an early psychiatrist and law enforcement officers as she works to catch a serial killer as the first female policewoman. We also see this in terms of how certain murders today are so abhorrent that we tend to think the person must be mad to have done it. We can't admit that such evil exists. This is the most evident in the fact that most mothers who murder their own children are almost always diagnosed with a mental illness and let off. When it comes to serial killers, that same tension of are they mad or bad comes into play because we can relate to killing one person in an act of rage or self-defense, but we have trouble looking in a mirror and seeing an evil that can kill lots of random people just for fun. Right. Here's a point. Like, honestly, it's like if somebody kills somebody, like if somebody kills one person, right? Okay, it's one person. Let's think about this logically. Okay, why? You know what I mean? Like they think about it differently. You know what I mean? The mentality for a person changes as soon as they start killing more than one person, you know, or more than like, you know, more than two people, you know, that it starts to become like, okay, well, he knew what it was like to kill one person. So if he's continue killing more and more people, something is going on, right? And prayer doesn't do shit. I'm kidding. I don't know if it helps you, it helps you. I'm not gonna say I shouldn't say that. I'll say for me personally, prayer is dumb. But if you believe in that, I'm not gonna debunk. I'm not gonna say you're wrong. Okay, just however you deal with trauma or pain, as long as you're dealing with it, is all that matters. Okay. Okay. So what's the next one? There's another one. Okay, addiction. In 1989 interview with a fundamentalist Christian. The hell is that? Psychologist ahead of his execution, Bundy claimed that his pornography addiction was what inspired his murders. Okay, interesting. There's nothing he could see visually that could give him that high, and he made the tragic jump and he killed a person. Hmm. Okay, that changes the game. That point, like if because watching porn inspired his murders. maybe he had like this weird epiphany that, okay, obviously this isn't going to give me what I want, so let me actually kill somebody. I don't understand. Like, that makes no sense. That literally, legitimately makes no sense. Either he's lying or he just. At that point, I just believe he's just crazy. At that point, as he videotaped this interview. When the sexual frenzy occurred again, he killed another woman. He said he did so many times that he got so he cannot feel. What? Wow. Okay, that changes the thing. That changes another way. Huh. It's understandable, Summer. Um, I don't know what to say. I really don't. I got lost of words. Um, yeah. Thanks, Summer, for coming in. I appreciate it. I really do. I really appreciate all the support that you gave me for however short amount of time it was. It still means a lot. It does. It really does. So thank you for being here. It's nice meeting you. Nice meeting everybody. Say goodbye to Summer. Um, yeah. It's okay. I won't like me either. um, Compulsive porn use is a complicated topic. Experts have yet to classify porn addiction in the DSM, according to the APA. While plenty of people consume porn, compulsive porn can certainly cause a rift in sexual relationships or lead to problems. That said, there's no evidence that suggests porn will lead someone to kill women so they can feel. That's very true. I don't understand like why. How would porn cause you to feel? How do you want to kill somebody? At that point, I believe that was just crazy talking. Like, honestly, hmm. I mean, I get it. It's because like sexually, it is like you're getting off sexually while watching it. But I think if you are lonely, right, and you have problems socially talking to people, talking to the opposite sex or whatever, because of your upbringing or whatever, it's easier for you to get addicted. Because you don't have to deal with the extra baggage that real life, people that just deal with. So I can get why that will be addicting. Well, can't have all the friends in the world, can you? Okay, cool. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm still trying to like get away from getting going to porn and stuff, but like I said, it's easier to deal with. Easier to deal with it on deal with just watching it and just You know what I mean? It's better. It's easier to watch it than to have to deal with in real life, because there's the other baggage you have to deal with in real life when it comes to other females and people. So it's just easier. But that doesn't mean that you should let yourself fall into that hole of whatever. Okay, so this is this website called Twisted Minds. It causes dreams, which cause what? Okay, Twisted Minds is the website called. Ted Bundy is a striking contrast to the general image of a homicidal maniac. Attractive, self-assured, politically ambitious, and successful with a wide variety of women. But his private demons drove him to extremes of violence that make the gory worst of modern slasher films seem almost petty by comparison. If y'all can, try to talk to Summer, please. For me. Don't even do it for me. Fuck that. Do it for her. Or do it for yourself. I don't know which one sounds worse, sounds better. Me, her, or yourself. I don't know. Just fucking please do it. Like, if she needs help, just be her friend. And be aware that she doesn't she's very sensitive. Okay, so obviously I didn't know that and I fucked that up, but it's alright. Y'all can fix it. Y'all can not fix it with me, but y'all can be her friend instead of me. How's that? I don't even know how to say that right. It's just such a weird situation. But his private demons drove him to streams and violence that made the okay. With his chameleon-like ability to blend his talent for belonging, Bundy posed an ever-present danger to the pretty dark-haired women he selected as his victims. Ted Bundy was born as Theodore Robert Cowell on November 24th, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont, to Louis Cowell, age 22. From birth, Bundy was already in a category in which the FBI survey found 43% of sexual and serial killers. He had only one parent. Yeah, seems like, yeah, that makes sense. That father figure wasn't there to help him out, bro. Man, the story of who the father was remained obscure. After giving birth to Ted in November, Louise returned to Philadelphia, leaving Ted behind in Vermont for 3 months. Wow. Damn, that's a bad mom right there. Back in Philadelphia, her father, Sam Cowell, pretended to adopt Ted as his son for some unknown orphanage. What? So what? What? So she left Ted in Vermont for 3 months to go to Philadelphia. And then but the grandfather came and pretended to adopt Ted as his son from some unknown orphanage. Louis, it is said, pretended to be his sister. Louise, sorry. What? Why would you? Apparently, this family was already fucked up from the beginning. I don't. What the hell? Dang. What the hell? Okay, so let's see. Louis pretended to be his sister. Nobody knows for sure when Ted unraveled the mystery of his birth history because he gave conflicting stories about it afterwards. When Eleanor married Johnny Bundy on May 19th, 1951, her son had finally had the name he would carry for life, Theodore Robert Bundy. Okay. Though Bundy loved his grandfather, it is reported that the man had a volatile temper and a mild taste for pornography. Okay. So the grandfather had a thing for pornography, apparently. Well, it was a mild taste, so it wasn't that bad. Aside from that, no signs of serious instability seemed to exist in Bundy's childhood. His stepfather and he were never particularly close, but no abuse was ever evident, and Eleanor was devoted to her son, though he remained confused about their relationship. Yeah, that makes sense. You literally pretend to be his fucking sister. What the hell? Why? Good night, Marlon. See you, bro. Stay wavy, my guy. Stay wise. Marlon, what's up? Okay, so where we at? Bundy reportedly alternately referred to her as his sister and his mother. See, that already fucks with the kid's head anyway. And from the beginning. Oh my god. See, happens every time. It is always the parents that fuck the shit up. His classmates from public school remember Bundy as intelligent, happy, and popular child with many friends and a good academic record. Once in high school, people's recollections of Bundy suddenly become more clouded. That's interesting. Bundy said to have been withdrawn and his academic progress was mediocre. He no longer was as popular as in junior high school. His friend recalled that he lost his confidence and appeared tongue-tied in social situations, not only with girls but with meeting new people in general. So something happened between junior high and high school that changed everything. Huh. In the spring of 1966, Ted Bundy met the love of his life. Her name was Stephanie, and she was older than him. Okay. A beautiful young woman who wore long, dark hair parted in the middle. Her resemblance to Bundy's later victims was striking. But by the time she graduated, she was starting to get bored with Bundy, feeling he was too childish and mature. So she broke up with him, moved to San Francisco. Okay, you got bored with him because he was too childish and mature, but yet you forget that he's younger than you. So why did you date somebody younger than you if you knew there was going to be whatever? It was basically just Stephanie's fault that he became like this. It was her fault. It was her fault. I'm saying it now. It was her fault. It was Stephanie's fault. Damn it, Stephanie. Um, so Bundy's lack of confidence and tendency toward manipulation had ruined the relationship. Okay. Okay, yeah. He soon dropped out of Stanford, reportedly devastated. Ted's brother recalls that before the breakup with Stephanie, Ted was always in charge of his emotions. He had never seen his brother so upset and moody. Interesting. Damn it, Stephanie. Stephanie ruined everything. She ruined this man's whole career. I'm sorry, I had to. Um, Bundy then waited until the fall and re-entered the University of Washington with a sense of purpose, turning from an average student into an honor student. He excelled in his studies and became increasingly involved in local politics, continuing to work on and off for political campaigns. Excuse me. Around this time, he met Liz Kendall, who would be a part of his life until well after his final incarceration. A divorced mother with three-year-old daughter supported Bundy in every way possible, and two seemed a close couple. Looked like they were going to get married. Things seemed to stay relatively calm for the time being. Bundy graduated from Washington with a degree in psychology, and of course psychology. And in the summer of 1973, was accepted into the University of Utah Law School. Nobody will ever know what happened to set Bundy off, but towards the end of 1973, he began murdering women at a frightening rate. Something set him off. So it seems like he was doing fine. Maybe it was just a bit pent up, like either anger or frustration over time. So like he would get a feeling of feeling good, right? And then out of his what do you call it? He just had bad luck. He just had bad luck growing up. Simple as that. He just had bad luck. Turned him crazy. He just went off. He had legitimately, it's from what I'm reading, he had just bad luck as a child, as a young guy. Like, fuck. Child traits that made up a huge impression on Ted from when, yeah, exactly. It's always something that happens during childhood that gets them. Every time. It's always a childhood. It will never ever not be the childhood, because shit, it literally said a lot of stuff that happened to him, right, wasn't really his fault. Like, he was fine until his mom pretended she was his sister, and I guess the grandfather had a temper and some pornography problems. He wasn't close to his stepfather. Something happened from junior high to high school. Then Stephanie fucked him up. And then he tried to rebound and come back as a better person. And then something else just set him off. It literally was just bad luck. It was bad luck. That's sad right there, bro. That's just, he just had bad luck, bro. That's just, well, not all lives are supposed to be perfect, but damn, bro. Man. Fuck, man, that's wild, bro. He just had a string of bad luck his whole fucking childhood. It just fucked with him mentally. I guess he probably just already naturally had had some type of problem with, like, maybe it was his anger. Maybe he had just had like a natural temper, and but he's been dealing with it really well. But then all of a sudden, and then there's just like things that's just gonna just breaks the camel back, right? You just keep adding and adding, and boom, just fuck it, I'm just gonna kill and rape women. Like, that's still on his choice. Not saying it's not. I don't know why that's just dumb to choose that. But hey, I feel like when you're angry, like, logic and common sense just goes through the door. Like, anger is not something that is ever going to end well if you go through with the decisions you make when you're angry. Fuck, man. You been asleep this whole time. I feel it though. Seek help. You can't blame others. You can't. Yeah, it's true. You can't blame others your whole life. Some stuff it is on you. Whatever the choices that was on him, those were on him, right? But Still, he still had bad luck his whole life. Simple as that. Right? I can't, like, why would your mom pretend to be your sister? That just fucks with you already, bro. Apparently, somehow, for some reason, she left for 3 months. For some reason, she just left her kid there for 3 months. Why? Damn, man. Stephanie fucked him up, bro. Stephanie did that shit to him, bro. She was the one that started to break the camel's back, bro. He was in love with her too, apparently, and that just broke him, bro. That's wild. I can't believe this whole thing took an hour and 30 minutes. I wouldn't. I thought it was gonna be like less than that, but this is so fascinating to me. Okay, this is an interview apparently with Ted. Oh wait, I probably should do part one. Let's do part one first. Okay, so let's see. James Dobson. So when I arrived, I discovered circus-like atmosphere south of prison. Teenagers carrying signs saying "Burn, Bundy, burn! You're dead, Ted." Also in the crowd, more than 300 reporters. Yeah, we get that. Test it. Just wait a moment. They'll come back on. The prisoner knew that his executioners were testing an electric chair that would take his life the next morning. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon. You are scheduled to be executed tomorrow morning at 7 if you don't receive another stay. What is going through your mind? What thoughts have you had in the last few days? I won't kid you to say it is something I feel I'm in control of or have come to terms with. It's a moment by moment thing. Sometimes I feel very tranquil, other times I don't feel tranquil at all. What's going through my mind right now is to use the minutes and hours I have left as fruitfully as possible. It helps to live in the moment with the essence that we use it productively. Right now I'm feeling calm, in large part because I'm here with you. For the record, you are guilty of killing many women and girls. Yes, that's true. How did it happen? Take me back. Where are the anecdotes of the behavior that we've seen? You were raised in what you consider a healthy home. You were not physically. I don't think that was healthy. Like he wasn't raised in a healthy home. Shit. Not physically, sexually, or emotionally abused. Emotionally, I think he was. I think he was emotionally abused in a very light way, but it still fucked with him. Okay. Okay. No, and that's part of the tragedy of this whole situation. I grew up in a wonderful home with two dedicated and loving parents, as one of five brothers and sisters. Okay, so he's talking about the step parent, the stepdad, and his mom. One of five brothers and sisters. We, as children, were the focus of my parents' lives. We regularly attended church. My parents did not drink or smoke or gamble. There was no physical abuse or fighting in the home. I'm not saying it was Leave It to Beaver, but it was a fine, solid Christian home. I hope no one tried to take the easy way out of this and accuse my family of contributing to. Well, they kind of are. I'm be honest, bro. I'm be honest. I know, and I'm trying to tell you as honestly as I know how what happened. As a young boy of 12 or 13, I encountered outside the home in the local grocery and drugstores softcore pornography. Young boys explored the sideways and byways of their neighborhoods, and in our neighborhood, people would dump the garbage. From time to time, we would come across books of harder nature, more graphic. This also included detective magazines, etc. And I want to emphasize this. The most damaging kind of pornography, and I'm talking about hard, real personal experience, is that involves violence and sexual violence. Okay. Oh, so the ones he saw were like hella dirty. Like that shit was like some serious, deep hentai type shit. Yeah, it was mentally abused too. That's true, Tanya. That's crazy. Okay, it's the wedding of the two forces, as I know only too well, brings about the behavior that is too terrible to describe. Huh. So apparently from his mind, the problem was that he saw a really bad graphic magazine and I guess he just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I saw in the magazine. Okay. Okay. What was going on in your mind at that time? Before we go any further, it is important to me that people believe what I'm saying. I'm not blaming pornography. I'm not saying it caused me to go out and do certain things. I will take full responsibility for all the things that I've done. That's not the question here. Issue is how this kind of literature contributed and helped mold and shape the kinds of violent behavior. Okay. It fueled the fantasies. It fuels this kind of thought process. Then at a certain time it is instrument. Oh, it just okay. So maybe because when he saw it, he thought it was like it. He kind of resonated with it. He resonated with it, or not resonate. Maybe he was like, I don't know, like he was like, oh yeah, this is cool or interesting. Or maybe that was the first time of pornography he saw, and he thought that that was just normal, right? He was like, oh, that's what that is. Okay, wow, okay, and then now he's in his mind, right? And it just kind of just started to get worse and worse for that idea that he first saw as a child, right? Damn, bro. That was just coincidence right there. That like I said, he was just unlucky, bro. It is instrumental in crystallizing it, making it something that's almost a separate entity inside. You had gone about as far as you could in your own fantasy life with printed material photos. And then there was a huge urge to take that step over to a physical event. Once you become addicted to it. Okay, so he was addicted to that specific type of pornography. So it was like that that really like hentai is dangerous. Because there is literally if you go to Hentai Haven, there is a tag that is specifically for rape, right? That is stuff that over in Japan that is a thing over there, okay? And it gets pretty bad if you watch like if you read like the mangas and the hentai mangas and stuff. It gets pretty crazy, especially psychological hentai. Oh my god, that shit fucks with you, bro. And that's probably what he saw. And that just kind of started to solidify over and over. Like, it's crazy, bro. And he got addicted, and now that's kind of like his go-to, and now his mind is constantly thinking about it, and now he starts looking for more and more, and he wants to take it a step further now because stuff kept happening to him. Like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna actually let's just go through and see what happens, some shit, more graphic kinds of material. It gets worse and worse, and then it started to be like, you know what, I need more, great sense of excitement. Well, until you reach the point where the pornography only goes so far, that jumping off point where you begin to think maybe actually doing it will give you that which is beyond reading it and looking at it. It literally is like the same thing as like drug addiction, right? You start out soft, and then people who have that problem with addiction, it gets worse and worse and worse until they take something so bad it almost kills them, or they kill somebody else, right? Addiction is a problem, bro. Addiction is probably the most dangerous thing. Dangerous, bro. It is scary. A couple years, I was thinking, how long did you stay at that point before you actually assaulted someone? A couple of years. I was dealing with very strong inhibitions against criminal and violent behavior that had been controlled and bred into me from my neighborhood, environment, church, and schools. So he was kind of like debating with himself whether he should go, do it, where he should go into it, and he was like, no, that's against the Christian way and shit, I knew I was wrong to think about it, and certainly to do it was wrong. I was on the edge, and the last vestiges of restraint were being tested constantly, and assailed through the kind of fancy life that was fueled largely by pornography. Damn. Do you remember what pushed you over that edge? Do you remember what decision to go for it? Do you remember where you decided to throw caution to the wind? It's a very difficult thing to describe, the sensation of reaching that point where I knew I couldn't control it anymore. Barriers I had learned as a child were not enough to hold me back from seeking out and harming somebody. Would it be accurate to call that a sexual frenzy? That's one way to describe it, a compulsion, a building up of this destructive energy. Another fact I haven't mentioned is the use of alcohol. In conjunction with my exposure to pornography, alcohol reduced my inhibitions. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Damn. So the alcohol just, damn. Maybe if he didn't drink, it probably wouldn't have never happened. But since he had an alcohol problem, or maybe the fact that he let himself drink in the first place was set him over. Fuck, man. The alcohol needs to be like banned and illegal and forever destroyed. I'm sorry. I don't like, just no. Oh, fuck, man. Damn, bro. That's crazy. There's a second part, apparently. Part 2. Man, that's crazy, bro. Even all these years later, it is difficult to talk about. We're living it through, talking about it is difficult to say the least, but I want you to understand what happened. It was like coming out of some horrible trance or dream. I can only liken it to, and I don't want to over dramatize it, being possessed by something so awful and alien. The next morning, waking up and remembering what happened, and realize that in the eyes of the law, and certainly in the eyes of God, you're responsible. Huh. Literally like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type situation. That's crazy. To wake up in the morning and realize what I had done with a clear mind, with all my essential moral and ethical feelings intact, absolutely horrified me. You didn't know you were capable of that before? There's no way to describe the brutal urge to do that, and once it had been satisfied or spent, that energy level recedes. I became myself again. Basically, I was a normal person. Wow. So It literally was like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation. He understood what had happened, but that feeling could not be. He had let it become so strong to the point where it just became another. It became a split personality at that point. Wow. That's wild, bro. Right. It shows that he was able to control his urges at first. You know what I mean? But as soon as more and more stuff was thrown at him, it started to get worse. And the feeling got worse and worse. And it started bubbling up. And he tried to, like, stop it. But he just, like, he just kept getting pushed. He just kept getting pushed, bro. He kept getting pushed over the edge. And that is really, really that's crazy to me. Man, bro. I wasn't some guy hanging out in bars or a bum. I wasn't a pervert in the sense that people look at somebody and say, I know there's something wrong with him. I was a normal person. I had good friends. I led a normal life, except for this one. This one small but very potent and destructive segment that I kept very secret and close to myself. I think the fact that he kept a secret to himself was the problem. He should have tried to get help, but he didn't. And that was his downfall. Those of us who have been so influenced by violence in the media, particularly pornographic violence, are not some kind of inherent monsters. We are your sons and husbands. We grew up in regular families. Pornography can reach in and snatch a kid out of any house today. Yeah, it snatched me out of my home 20 to 30 years ago. As diligent as my parents were, they were diligent in protecting their children. As good as a Christian home as we had, there is no protection against the kinds of influences that are loose in society that tolerates. Wow. He has a point, though. Shit. He has a point. He has a point. That's what I'm saying, Tyro. Like, alcohol and cigarettes, tobacco is so bad for us, but yet it is legal. Everybody, and it's legal, right? But weed, the thing that's better than fucking alcohol and cigarettes, is illegal. The system has failed us, people. The system has failed us. It is time to change. It is time to change it. Because this shit is getting out of hand, bro. You see, and Ted was getting to something, and it looks like they cut it off. The government don't want you to know what he was thinking, bro. The government don't want you to know. They want you to take. They only want you to see the bad in him. I'm gonna be honest. They only want you to see the bad in him, so they silence him, and they use him as their social bunny. I'm sorry, I feel crazy right now. Okay, look. Okay, so he said, outside these walls, there are several hundred reporters that want to talk to you. And you asked me to come because you have something you want to say. You feel that hardcore pornography and the door to it, softcore pornography, is doing untold damage to other people and causing other women to be abused and killed the way you did. I'm no social scientist, and I don't pretend to believe what John Q. Citizen thinks about this. But I've lived in prison for a long time now, and I met a lot of men who were motivated to commit violence. Without exception, every one of them was deeply involved in pornography. Crazy. Deeply consumed by the addiction. FBI's own study on serial homicides shows that the most common interest among serial killers is pornographers. It's true. That's wild, bro. Porn is ruining our people. Oh, I'm not surprised. What would your life have been like without the influence? I know it would have been far better, not just for me, but for a lot of other people, victims and families. There's no question that it would have been a better life. I'm absolutely certain it would not have involved this kind of violence. If I were able to ask the common questions that were being asked, one would be, are you thinking about all those victims and their families that are so wounded years later? Their lives aren't normal. They will never be normal. Is there remorse? I know people will accuse me of being self-serving, but through God's help, I've been able to come to the point, much too late, where I can feel the hurt and pain I am responsible for. Yes, absolutely. During the past few days, myself and a number of investigators have been talking about unsolved cases, murders I was involved in. It's hard to talk about all these years later because it revives all the terrible feelings and thoughts that I have steadfastly and diligently dealt with, I think successfully. It's been reopened, and I have felt the pain and the horror of that. I hope that those who I have caused so much grief, even if they don't believe my expression of sorrow, will believe what I'm saying now. There are those loose in their own towns and communities like me whose dangerous impulses are being fueled day in, day out by violence in the media in its various forms. God damn it, my nose, bro. Particularly sexualized violence. What scares me is when I see what's on cable TV. Some of the violence in the movies that come into homes today is stuff they won't show in X-rated adult theaters 30 years ago. The slasher movies, man, that's crazy, bro. He's talking truth, bro. He's talking truth, and he actually feels bad about it, which is crazy. He's actually talking. He's actually he. From what I'm reading, it seems like he's a normal guy. It's just he's just a victim of being so brought being so deep into a sexual violence hole, right? And now he's been so deep into it he can't get out of it, or he's let himself become what he's been seeing. He's become those those pornography videos and shit, right? Wow, that's wild, bro. That is the most graphic violence on the screen, especially when children are unattended or unaware that they could be Ted Bundy. They have a predisposition to that kind of behavior. One of the final murders he committed was a 12-year-old Kimberly Leach. I think the public outcry was greater there because it was an innocent child was taken from a playground. What did you feel after that? Were there any normal emotions after that? I can't really talk about that right now. It's too painful. I would like to be able to convey to you what that experience is like, but I won't be able to talk about that. I can't begin to understand the pain that the parents of these children and young women that I have harmed feel, and I can't restore much to them. If anything, I won't pretend to, and I don't expect them to forgive me. I'm not asking for it. This kind of forgiveness is of God, and if they have it, they have it. If they don't, maybe they'll find it someday. Wow. I wish he would have had a creative outlet, like making stories or making movies or art or something, like that hit he would have that feeling probably would he could have put all that feeling into his art. He probably would have been the fucking greatest artist in the world. That's Oh my god. The church and his beliefs in God was still alive in him. Right, it was still alive. He was a regular guy. That's Oh my god. This is a lot deeper than I thought it was gonna be. Holy shit. Do you deserve the punishment the state has inflicted upon you? It's a very good question. I don't want to die. I won't kid you. I deserve certainly the most extreme punishment society has. And I think society deserves to be protected from me and others like me. That's for sure. What I hope will come from our discussion is that I think society deserves to be protected from itself. As we have been talking, there are forces at loose in this country, especially this kind of violent pornography, where on one hand, well-meaning people will condemn the behavior of Ted Bundy while they're walking past a magazine rack full of very kinds of things that send young kids down the road to being Ted Bundys. Yo! Oh my god. How much truth is this guy gonna talk, bro? What the hell? That's wild. He is talking so much truth right now. It is hurting my brain. I swear to. Oh my god. This is a lot deeper than I thought it was going to. I didn't think it was going to be this deep. Holy shit. But the scares are too deep. People are scared, bro. But they get upset at Ted Bundy, but you walk past all these crazy, you know, outlandish like shit that all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's just somebody's fetish. No, fix that. Okay. Like fix like me and my mom was talking about this last night. Like fix the environment instead of trying to fix the person. Because if you fix the environment, you're automatically that person is gonna grow up in a different, obviously, environment. So they're not gonna have the same mental state. They're gonna be better if you fix it to a better environment than it was before. You know, what I mean, fix the environment that kids are in, and you will have a better outcome. Oh my God, I'm talking about going beyond retribution, which is what people want with me. There is no way in the world that killing me is going to restore those beautiful children to their parents and correct and soothe the pain. But there are lots of other kids playing in streets around the country today who are going to be dead tomorrow and the next day because of other young people are reading and seeing these kinds of things that are available in the media today. Oh my God, my head is hurting because oh my God, Bundy is shedding. He is exactly, Tanya, exactly. My brain is hurting because how much factual shit this guy is talking. But like you said, he's a serial killer and then nobody pays attention because of what he's done. But people like this need to be listened to because they're the ones who have the craziest, the out of the box thinking, right? Not saying that I'm condoning, not saying that they should have done that, but you need to listen to what they're saying. Listen to them. You know what I mean? Oh my God, this is crazy. Okay, what else? There's tremendous cynicism about you on the outside, I suppose, for good reason. I'm not sure if there's anything you could say that people would believe. Yet you told me, and I have heard this through our mutual friend John Tanner, that you have accepted the forgiveness of Jesus Christ and are a follower and believer in him. Do you draw strength from that as you approach these final hours? Wow. So he was a legit stout Christian. I mean, it does say that he never really went away from that religion. It was just a feeling that he couldn't just, ignore. You know what I mean? I can't say that being in the valley of the shadow of death is something I've become all that accustomed to, and I'm strong and nothing's bothering me. It's no fun. It gets kind of lonely. Yet I have to remind myself that every one of us will go through this someday in one way or another. It's appointed unto man. Countless millions who have walked this earth before of us have gone through this. So this is just an experience we all share. Then he was executed 7:15 the day after this conversation was recorded. Oh my God, bro, That's fascinating, bro. Ted Bundy was a low-key genius. What the hell? That's weird to say, but honestly, that's what I'm reading. That is the truth right here. Holy shit. Man. My God, everything has changed now. Holy shit. A lot of people who come out as when society stamps them as crazy are the ones who actually have the solutions. Like, not saying that the things they do are good, but the people who have like Ted Bundy, right? He obviously was a serial killer and he has problems, right? But he had a very good idea as to what's wrong with the people, with the world, right? I think it's because of his upbringing. He was a Christian, and so he automatically had that, I guess had that thought, or it just came to him. But like the fact that he wasn't fully crazy is the point. That's what I think is. I don't think, from what I'm reading, I don't think he was crazy. I think he just, like he said, there was like it became a split personality type thing, where he couldn't just hold it in anymore. It just forced itself out of him, and he had to do something, or his body just took control, and it just, he woke up like feeling like, oh shit, I can't believe I did that. That's, man. I legit feel bad for him. I feel bad for Ted. I feel really bad for Ted. That is what his life had ended, and how his life had become. We need to fix this. We need to fix society, bro. We need to fix it, because this is getting out of hand. Fuck, man. Man, yo, okay. I think that wraps it up. I thought we was gonna talk about other stuff. This is great. Exactly, Tanya. This is a great learning experience. We learned. I just learned from a serial killer about what's wrong with the world. Oh fuck. My eyes are watering. I'm finna cry. Fuck. We learned so much. That's wild, bro. That's. Oh my god, man. That's wild, bro. That's. Oh my god. I am so thankful for the people who made the documentary and that movie, because this is what the world needed. I'm not saying that he should have killed those people and those women. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that things happen. Nothing happens in vain. How's that? Nothing happens in vain, in my opinion. In my opinion, nothing happens in vain. everything can be learned from and can change how people think. If people were willing to dig deep enough to learn more and to try to understand. Because I could have stopped at the last couple things that I read and not dug deeper, but I had to dig deeper. I was like, something is wrong here. Something is off. Something is off. And I had to keep going. And oh my god. Good thing I listened to my gut, bro. Fuck, bro. That's wild, bro. I still don't know why he decided to keep saying that he was innocent for so long, but I guess maybe he was I don't know, like I don't know why he would keep saying that he was innocent. I mean, if you're talking about like in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of situation, then yeah, he was kind of innocent, but he still technically did it because it was him who did it, but it wasn't him because it was more of a sexual monster predator that took hold of his body instead of him doing it. It's weird. It's wild, bro. It's on Netflix. Yeah, y'all can watch the movie. It's really good. It's called something just vile and evil or something like that. Yeah. It's good. It's got Zac Efron in it. I love Zac Efron, Lily Collins, or they have to date again. Or I don't say they have to, but I feel like it will I don't know, they're just so cute together. I love it. Anyway, that should be good. I'm definitely changing the thumbnail because this whole thing was just talking about Ted Bundy, so we're just gonna you know, I'm just gonna make this whole thing Ted Bundy. Thank you guys so much for being here, bro. Yeah, type in Ted Bundy, should be there. But yeah, yeah, thank you guys for being in here, bro. I appreciate it. Tyrone, Tanya, Maggie, fucking Merce. Who else came in? Marlon. Um, Summer for coming in for one last um um live stream. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it so much. Yeah, go watch that movie, bro. That shit is too good, bro. I still gotta finish it, but it's really good. Thank you guys for being here. If you're watching on the playback, I hope you enjoyed. Um, this was really eye-opening. I hope it was eye-opening for you because this man Ted Bundy was onto something, and they just had to go and kill him for good reason. But I wish they would have took more thought and took more thought into using his mind. You know what I mean? And once they exhausted that, then you can kill him. But thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to stay wise. Don't forget to be nice to people. Be open minded. Please be open minded, especially with this new one. And stay wise. Tell people that you love them, because you never know what could happen tomorrow. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for being here. Stay wise. Peace.